Hey y'all. Hey y'all. Okay, hold on. Shit. I'm acting like I don't know what the hell I'm doing today. Sorry y'all, I had to actually hop on here today and go live because my schedule is so packed this week that I don't think that I'm gonna be able to do it on Wednesday like we normally do. So I just wanted to hop on today, maybe do some like one question readings and stuff for those of y'all who want to participate, and just talk about whatever it is y'all want to talk about, because we have a lot of planetary movement this week. I believe Mercury is moving into Aries, which is going to make us a lot more direct and bold in our communication, but a little impulsive when it comes to the way that we respond to things. And then we also have the sun moving into Taurus towards the end of the week. Actually, Saturday. Ow, fuck, that's hot. Hold on. Hey, G Lover girl. You can, oh, child, listen. But we got the sun moving into Taurus, which is going to help us to, you know, if there's something that we want to build and maintain, like it'll be a really good time for that, because Taurus is really about building the foundation. And my birthday coming up, period. I'll be entering my activation year this year. But that's happening. Hey, Deja, tell me how to pronounce your name, baby, because every time it come up, I don't know which way to go. My birthday is May 16th. So the sun is moving into Taurus, so we got a change there. And I believe we just coming off of a full moon. So this week is going to be a little full of tension, just because the sun is actually square the moon in Libra, which means it's really not a good time to start anything. You're looking into relationships, maybe relationship drama. Okay, Deja. Okay, that's what I thought. Oh, May 3rd. Happy early birthday, twin. I always get along so well with Tauruses. I don't know what it is. We're just the best sign ever. But I feel like every Taurus feels that way. So, like, you know, maybe it's just built inside of us. But yeah, so there's been some like energetic changes that have been going on, and some shifts happening. We just got out of 2 days ago Venus retrograde finally, but it's gonna be in a shadow period until about May 15th. So things should start to be getting back to normal when it comes to like your finances and stuff like that, thank God, because why was they doing all that, you know? So yeah, happy early birthday to you. Yeah, I definitely love my Taurus fam. I do too. Like, I've always had like really close friendships with Taurus people, dated them and everything, which I don't recommend, but yeah, I love a good Taurus. I feel like we're so complex. We're so complex. Hey, Jayla. Hey, boo. But yeah, I wanted to hop on today because, oh, child, do not recommend. Thank you, Jayla, for the sun. Like, I run the smear campaign against Taurus men. Ain't nobody gonna live a double life like a Taurus man. They're liars. They're liars. They're liars. And they're gonna sell it really good to you. Okay? But anyways, I wanted to hop on and like maybe do some readings for people and whatever, because this week is so fucking packed that I just don't know that I'll have another opportunity to hop on this week. So I wanted to do it today because your girl is booked and busy, and it's mainly just because this month I am offering free general life readings with human design readings. So everybody who books a human design reading gets a general life reading. But now my schedule is so packed because of the addition to that. So it's not a bad thing. Not only that, I do actually have a mentorship spot available that just came available this week. So if anybody is looking for a spiritual mentor, I have one spot available. It is a one-on-one session, meaning like we'll meet every single week for about 2 hours a day. Send me an email, girl, because it's first come, first serve. And I don't have nothing else available until probably like The end of April, I should be letting go of 3 people, but I don't know that I'm going to take on another 3 people. So I have 1 spot available on Fridays at 3 p.m. my time, so 3 p.m. Pacific time. It's $199 a month, and it is around a 6-month program, but it's not a full 6-month program, meaning like some people take a little bit longer, and that's okay. Hey, SLC. So yeah, so I have a list of people that I reach out to, but I always tell the people who join my lives first. So you just sent it to my email? Because what I'll do is, oh, you DM me. Okay, so when I get off of here, I'll look at the DM, and what I'll do is basically send you an invoice. Once that gets paid, I do send you an intake form, and we can get started. But they're limited availability, so, oh, my DM. Okay, good. Yeah, I think you might have emailed me, or somebody emailed me about that. Like, I have a list, but whenever I think about it, whoever comes to mind is who gets the slot. So yeah, so I'll check that after, love. But yeah, okay, so let's do some readings. I would love to do some readings today for some people. It'll be brief, and I think I kind of want to do like one question. Like, you ask a question and I ask spirit, because I just feel like that'll be fun. 10 out of 10 recommend mentorship if you're thinking about it. Thank you, Jayla. Jayla's one of my mentees who's been with me for about 5 months now. And we're making a lot of progress. And one thing that I love about it too is that, like, for the free, my love. Hey, can you do a reading for me? Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna get to y'all. But I love what I'm doing when it comes to the mentorship, because I'm a person who is always like constantly growing and evolving, right? And I'm always like trying to learn new ways to be more helpful. And recently I took like a hypnosis class and realized that a lot of what I'm doing is very similar to hypnosis or whatever, but the techniques are so effective. Like, I got a chance to dig into one of my clients recently, kind of using the techniques, and it clicked. It was like, you know, so I'm excited about it, and I'm gonna keep doing it, but I think I'm just gonna keep them like limited availability, meaning like I'm not gonna take a lot of people, because for the last 6 months I've had 7 mentees. At one point in time I had 9, and it's just a lot. Like, it's a lot. I don't mind doing it though. I've never missed a session, because like I said, I really love people, and every session is different, you know. But yeah, I'm just trying to keep growing and learning and evolving so that I can just be a resource to my community, you know. Right now I have 5. Well, I had 6 as of this morning, but I have 5, and then if Deja signs up, then I'll have 6 again. Well, actually no, 7. So yeah, 7. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Because I had 2 that I had to let go because of commitment and stuff. So if you're joining the program, please be committed to coming and showing up to your sessions, you know. Like, some of the things that I had to let someone go for was just like, one of them just kept falling asleep or not being able to show up on time, and then I wouldn't hear from them for hours until hours later. And that happened like 2 times in a row. And I do have a rule, and my rule is you get 2 no call, no shows. After that, you playing in my face. So I got to let you go, because my time is valuable, and there's people fighting for these spots. Like, I literally have a list. I have a list of people, you know. And then the second one, it was just like, missed a couple sessions and told me beforehand, which I'm totally fine with, but the reasons for missing the sessions were like not being able to emotionally regulate, like getting into it with people, and then it blowing the entire fucking day. And I'm just like, okay, well, that's the perfect time for you to come to mentorship. Like, that's the perfect time, you know, for us to meet about this. And then it was like other stuff, like not having the homework, and because I got homework. I don't play about homework. Homework is going to get us to where we're going. You know, I'm a homework fiend. And I do a lot with the homework and the questions and stuff just to get you to start thinking on your own. But then you come together to me, and I use my gifts, and I use, you know, whatever I have at your disposal to try to help you to navigate those things. But if you don't do the homework, then I waste the entire session trying to walk you through the homework when it could have just already been done, you know? So, so yeah. But I'm happy and proud of myself because usually I'm not good at standing on boundaries. But I've been standing on boundaries, period. Hi, Tori. Okay, so who was the first person who said it? I think it was Amiris. Amiris, did you want to read it first, or was it you, Shami? Is it Shami? I hope you're still on here, boo. Who's first? And it'll be a quick little session. Let me turn this music off so I can hear it. So I can hear you. Yes, I need a reading. Will me and my child's father get back together? Okay. So what I want to do with this session is just put a question in the chat, and I'm gonna do a reading for y'all that way. Okay. So let me go with this first question. Will me and my child's father get back together? Okay. So I'm gonna be honest with you. Listen, this is an honesty hour. Okay. Anything I say, I do not mean harm. It is just what I'm hearing. The first thing that I heard was that you know better. Okay? The first thing that Spirit told me is that you know better. Now, I don't necessarily know what that means, sister girl. Let me ask the cards. Okay? Give me 1 second. Okay. Okay, clarify this. Yep, I get unrequited love. Someone with a fragile sense of identity and poor personal boundaries. It feels like that's talking about you, love. And it also feels like there's a need for you to trust your intuition, but you're a little afraid of stepping out into the unknown. Yeah, and then I get right after that, paralyzed by fear. And it feels like also there's I don't know if they're refusing to compromise or giving in. Maybe they're a little stubborn, rigid, but that's what I get right after that. And it feels like bad with money. Okay. So I don't know if you guys went into business together or if there was something had to do with finances or business management. But the very first card that I got was not finishing what you start. Okay. And then I got unrequited love. Someone with a fragile sense of ego. And sometimes when we're talking about unrequited love, it's like, hold on. It's a situation where one person has romantic feelings for another who does not reciprocate those feelings. Okay. So there's a need for you to be able to be willing to step out into the unknown and know that it's going to be okay. There's a need for you to kind of review your subconscious belief systems and make sure that you are not moving based off of fear and you're moving based off of what you actually do want. Because it feels like this situation may have caused you a lot of stress. It may have burnt you out. It feels like people may have been taking advantage of you. And because you have this fear of stepping out into the unknown, is causing you to stay in situations that are not necessarily aligned with you. Okay. And it feels like what you actually want is security, and it doesn't feel like this person is able to provide that for you. Okay. That is the message, my love. Yes, it's stressful. I had to walk away. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense, my love. So I think right now what it is it's time for you to choose you. You know, it's time for you to choose you, because the very first thing that I got as soon as you asked that question was, you know better. Okay. And it felt like that was coming from Dad's side. So I just want to say that. Okay. Would you ever do tears, or do you think it'll be a one-time type of thing? What you mean tears? Like in mentorship? Or what you mean by that, J Boo? Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. I need to close my door because my cat has no couth. 1 second. Now you ain't going back outside since you want to play. God, I'm gonna let my damn air out. Anyways. Yes, I'm here. Okay. So she is it Shami? Shimmy? Put your question in the chat for me. I'm gonna start from the top. I'm gonna start from the top and work my way down. Okay, so just stay on the live, and I'm gonna get to your question. Okay, I just want to make sure I get her first because she was the first person to write about it. Okay, so drop your question in the chat. Yes, it's stressful. I had to walk away. I have a question. Okay, yep. So I'm gonna get to you. He is not prepared. He isn't ready. I've been choosing me. Good. Keep choosing you. Keep choosing you because it feels like your guides are saying you know better. Yes, in mentorship. So tier 1 would be a brand new mentee. Tier 2 would be mastering new things. You know what? I might actually do that because I know I say like it's a 6-month program, but I don't think it has to be a program at all. Like what I've come to realize, why are you so smiley? Because today is a good day, girl. I just worked out. I have all the energy in the world. And it kicked my fucking ass, so I don't understand why I'm so smiley, but today is a good day. Oh, okay, because it said I'm asking for me. Yeah, so I actually have been thinking about that recently because I have been putting so much pressure on myself to get people through in 6 months. And I'm like, why am I doing that? Like, it's taken away from the work that I'm actually trying to do. Like, I want to make sure that when you get out of my mentorship, you have every fucking thing that you need to be able to navigate reality, trusting on your own intuition, trusting on your own guidance, you know? And I feel like for some people have way more trauma than other people. I'm expecting that in 6 months, you're a brand new fucking person. Like, that's unrealistic. And that's very Taja of me. You know, I'm an ambitious type of girl. You know, that's some shit that I would do, but it doesn't mean that it translates when it comes to other people. So I've decided recently, and I think me and you might have had a little small conversation about this, that I'm not going to put a time limit on it. Like, you know, as long as you need me, you'll have me, and that's it. You know? So let me go back and see if my girl put her, okay, what do I need to do to stay in alignment and move in purpose? Okay, so the first thing that I get is trust yourself. You think that you're not doing it, but you are. This is coming from mom's side. And then the last thing that I got is that the choice doesn't matter. The choice doesn't matter. Your commitment to the choice is what matters. Okay? So let me see what the cards say real quick. Are you stuck right now? They said something about feeling stuck. Okay. Yep, so the very first thing that I get is the King of Wands. So this is somebody who is a master of business, right? This is somebody who trusts their intuition, who allows themselves to show up authentically, but also takes no for answer. No, like doesn't take no for an answer. So this is the card of like leadership and being in charge and being decisive. So that could be why they're telling me the choice doesn't matter. You know, the choice that you make doesn't matter. Your commitment to that choice is what matters. And then when you commit to that choice, you need to trust your intuition to guide you, right? It feels like there might be a little bit of impulsiveness when it comes to you, but you are the type of person who naturally inspires other people to achieve their creative goals, okay? It also feels like you lose momentum because things keep happening in your life. Maybe something will happen and you'll feel like it's bad timing. So you'll have this dream and be excited about it, but maybe you go backwards on it. And then the next thing that I get is that you need to kind of jump into this energy of anything can happen, right? You need to jump into this energy of intuition, right? You need to jump into this energy of exploration and imagination. Okay. It feels like you are someone who is very emotional and you might let those emotions get in the way of your decision making. So what you need to do is actually channel that energy into imagination and intuition and create something beautiful, because it feels like whatever it is that you're supposed to be doing, you're supposed to be creating something. Okay. So that means that you have to be creating something at all times, even when, even without an expectation of outcome, okay? So you got to kind of get into this dreamy energy. You got to kind of get into this childlike spirit. And you got to learn to regulate your emotions. Okay. And then I heard self-doubt is what I'm hearing as well. Okay. Yep. And then the next thing I get is self-sabotaging behavior. I get you feeling like you need to do it all by your own, which is pushing you into disharmony. So I don't know if that's a specific relationship that you're in that is keeping you from stepping into your power, or you've been in relationships before that have broke down your ability to show up authentically, meaning like they were constantly dimming your light. They were constantly telling you that you could not get it. And the bottom of the deck is unrequited love again. So constantly telling you that you were not worth anything, and you might have believed them on some level, which has kept you away from being able to create in the way that you're supposed to create. But it feels like you have to step into this energy of being more decisive. You have to like let go of the outcome, right? Let go of the outcome and just do what's in your heart. Okay. That is for you, Shashimi. Yes, I'm working on growing my business. I'm a makeup artist and I know I can do it, but I get in my head. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, that makes complete sense. So it feels like this might be a result of maybe being in an abusive relationship, and that could be with a parent. That doesn't have to necessarily be a person, but you feeling like an underlying energy of unworthiness and inadequacy. Okay, you need to trust in yourself. You have all the tools to do what it is that you think that you're supposed to be doing in this reality. And it feels like, again, that's a creative modality. Makeup, that's when I get to truly be an artist. Okay, so trust yourself and just do the fucking thing. Stop thinking about what you don't want and focus on what you actually do want. And I think you'll be able to bring that in. Okay, so that was for you. Now I'm going back to the top and I'm gonna start answering the questions coming down. Okay, so let me go back real quick. Okay. Yes, I need to rope. Okay. I already did that one. And once you ask your question, no more questions. Just one question. That's it. That's all. So SLC said, will I have the tools of clarity needed for my next chapter? Okay, so remember I said that I'm going to give it to you how Spirit gave it to me. Know that I mean this with all the love in my heart that I have for you. Okay? Spirit said that you already have the tools and that you're the problem. You need to get out of your own way. Okay? That's what I heard. Let's see what the cards say. Stuck in a cycle. And they said of trauma, a cycle of trauma. Okay, one second. Yeah, and they make my heart feel really, really heavy to the point where I feel like I'm not even breathing. Oh, it's hard for me to breathe. The first thing that I get is pain and grief and heartache. Okay. So it feels like what you've been through in life. Let me finish pulling cards. Hold on one second before I even get to talking. But it feels like whatever it is that you've been in life has created a break or ability for you to actually trust your intuition. And it feels like everything that you're going through is self-imposed. It's self-imposed limitations, meaning that you have somewhat of that I can't energy. Okay. And it feels like this comes directly from relationships. And it feels like you're the type of person who actually really likes to be in relationship with other people. However, it has caused you so much pain. It feels like there is a lack of independence. There's a lack of stability, maybe a lack of security. It feels like you may be excessively spending right now because of that. Okay. And it feels like there's a lot of trust issues. Okay. And because of those trust issues, you're making decisions based off of fear. And it feels like poor choices. It really like it feels like poor choices, and you think that you don't have any options, but you do have options, and those options are in front of you. However, you have not waken up to your life's purpose yet. You hear the call, but you're not answering the call. Okay, it feels like you're making really snap judgments, and you're not taking your time and sitting with yourself and figuring out if whatever it is, whatever choice that you make is actually aligned with your life's purpose. Okay, it feels like everything that you're doing right now is coming from this place of you not being able to trust in yourself, and you not being able to trust in other people. So what is really important for you to do right now is for you to get out of your own way. The way that you're thinking about things is what's causing the problem. And also your fear of the unknown, meaning that because you have been stuck in a cycle of trauma and you don't trust people, it keeps you pulling away from people and not putting yourself out there, not actually taking calculated risks that are going to get you to where you're going. Okay, stop playing small. Stop playing small. Okay, that's it. That is all. Okay, let me see what you said, and then I'll come back up to the top. No, this is for SLC. Yes, Portia, you can just put your question in the comments, and I'm just going from the top down, okay? Did you have anything to say, SLC, before I move on? I just want to make sure I don't rob you of your opportunity to give some feedback. Heard you loud and clear. Thank you. You're welcome, my love. Of course, anytime. Okay, so go back up and let's do the next person. So Amiris, just go ahead and put your question in the chat for me. Okay, so we got Natalia. What do I need to do to find clarity on what idea I'll be most successful in? Okay. Okay, so this feels like this is coming from mom's side, Natalia, but it says you already know, you're just afraid to do the thing, and it feels like there's some fear of judgment from other people. So it's more so about you getting comfortable and confident in whatever the skill is that you have, okay? Yeah, it feels like you've known for a long time. You just don't want to take the steps on that one because there's some type of fear or something standing in your way. And it feels like you're focusing on failing instead of actually just focusing on what the thing is. Yeah, and it feels like you need to get into this energy of abundance. It feels like that there might be it feels like you might be spending a lot of time being worried about other people, and worried about the welfare of other people, which is keeping you from experiencing abundance. There's a need for you to kind of liberate yourself when it comes to your external environment and stop seeking that external validation, and instead just do what it is that you want to do. There's also a need for you to overcome some depression. There's a need for you to forgive, maybe release some pain, because it feels like your relationship with money is what's causing whatever this issue is, because money just keeps coming up, and it feels like you're afraid of taking a loss. Like you're afraid of dealing with the unexpected change that may come from you stepping out and doing this thing. Yeah, and then I heard trust the process. You gotta lose to win. So it feels like money might be the boundary standing in the way of what it is that you want. And also a little bit of lack of confidence. Okay? It also feels like you might be like somebody who is trying to control everything instead of just letting things be what they are. You know, instead of just starting small, meaning like whatever this is that you're working on, you need to break it up into parts instead of looking at the whole picture, because it feels like you think that you can't make a movement on this thing because of the money. Because I keep getting I got the Queen of Pentacles, which is about you being in a state of abundance, you being able to trust and nurture your finances. And it feels like it is a situation where you can be the mother and the businesswoman, but it's a need for you to forgive. It's a need for you to overcome depression. It's a need for you to realize that losses are a part of the cycle. You know, it feels like there's a lack of confidence in growth. And then it also feels like, again, you're just trying to control everything when it comes to money wise. So there's a need to nurture your finances. And then I get unpaid bills. And what's sticking out to me is bad debt. So it could be credit as well. Any feedback for me, love, before always thinking from a space of survival with money and lack of funds? Okay, yeah, like a lack mentality is what I was getting. So it feels like you need to fix your relationship with money. So what I would do is go on the internet, look for a law of attraction check. Okay, it's like a check that you can write to yourself from the universe. You can actually go on Amazon and get like a booklet of these, and then look up the law of attraction money exercise. Basically what you want to do is each week write yourself a check of $1,000, and then you want to go in your head, like you want to write out what bills you're going to pay with this money, right? In the physical. This is happening in the physical. Then you go into visualization. You see yourself taking a check, depositing it in the bank, checking your bank account, seeing that you have the money available, and then you go and you spend the money, and then you don't think about it again. Okay, so it's like basically tricking your mind into believing that you always got money coming in. Okay, so that's the first week. The second week you add another $1,000. So the first week is $1,000. The second week is $2,000. Now you got $2,000 to work with, and you're supposed to spend all the money. Okay, it's a good little trick, mind trick to get you out of a lack mindset. But also understand that when you're in a lack mindset, you focused on the future, and that puts you in a loop of disappointment, because that means you have a lot of expectations that are probably not going to be met. Okay, because we don't necessarily know what's going to happen. We're creating it as we go. And if we're in a lack mindset, then that means we're creating a reality where we have an abundance of lack. Okay, so I just want to say that. All right, so we're going to go up to the top. It feels like that's money, my love. Okay. Hold on now. The chat is moving kind of fast. Okay. So I got you. It sounds like you talking to me. Baby, I might be. It might be a message that you need to hear. Okay, I would like a reading. I have a question. How am I doing on my spiritual journey? Okay. So it actually feels like you're really dedicated to your journey. But then I hear practice spirituality. So I don't know if you're like in the intellectualizing stage, and maybe you're not into a spiritual routine in the way that you're supposed to be into a spiritual routine. But all I heard was practice spirituality. So that's just how I'm interpreting that. And then I hear shadow work. So I don't know if you think that you're out of active healing, but it might be a need for some more shadow work. Give me 1 second. Let me see. And then I also get trust for you again. And I think that's a lot of our problem is trust in the process. Oh, okay. And then they also said not being satisfied with where you are, like meaning like you're constantly reaching for the next thing, that you don't take a second to just sit in whatever moment it is that you are right now and be grateful for what it is that you've accomplished up until this point. Okay. So it feels like that you might have been a person who was dealing with a lot of conflict in your life. You might have been the person who was constantly butting heads with other people, or you might have been the type of person who just didn't consider the perspectives of other people. But it feels like you actually have entered into this state of compromise where that cycle of struggle and conflict is actually ending, because you're a little bit more open to accountability and receiving feedback as well. It feels like there might have been somebody who put you down who can't really actually be trusted. But it feels like you're actually in a new beginning when it comes to where you are relationship wise. It feels like the way that you're looking at relationships and what you actually want is a little bit different now. And it feels like that you have the highest potential right now to actually bring in what you actually want when it comes to those relationships. But there's a need for you to figure out, always learn. There's a need for you to fix the Cancerian energy, which is about really nurturing yourself, you know, giving yourself some grace, nurturing what's going on inside of your mind. And then there's also a need for you to feel your feelings and let go of the old version of you for this new version of you, okay? Because it feels like you might be the type of person who's a little bit all or nothing. And then the last thing is make sure that your belief systems align with where it is that you're going in your next step, because it feels like, again, like I said, you have the most potential when it comes to bringing in the love that you actually want, but it feels like it's been disharmony. It feels like it's been disharmony in your previous relationships. There's insecurity. There is a lack of growth in those relationships. And negligence. And to be honest, this feels like self-neglect. And it feels like you're in a place of trying to release that pain, and you're trying to be more optimistic about things. And you should. Don't shut yourself off from love just because of how somebody wasn't able to receive it. Okay. So that is what I got for that. But it feels like you need to just be where you are instead of constantly trying to do more and do more and do more. Just be where you are. Plant your feet where you are. Stop and just enjoy the experience. You know, trust the process. It is not a race, you know, and it's not a light switch. It's more like a dimmer. You go forward and you come back, and you go forward and you come back. So allow yourself the space to just exist for where you are right now. Okay. Ooh, hold on. Let me see who that was so that I can. Grateful. That was for you, grateful one. Do you have any feedback for me before I move on, my love? Thank you. Trust the process. Yes. Hi, Hydra. Yep. Okay. Good. I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, it's just yes, I like it. You were spot on. Okay, good. Good. So you just need to trust the process and be where you are right now. Okay. It's not a race, and you're gonna get there. You're always exactly where you're supposed to be. Okay, always, always, always. And I seen your comment. I love her. Love you back, boo. Okay. Let me go back. All right. He is not prepared. He isn't ready. I've been choosing me, period. And that's that on that. Okay, so user 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. First of all, I need you to fix that. But second, let me get to your question. Your question is, should I separate from my spouse? Okay, I'm gonna give it to you. How they give it to me. Remember what I said. From a place of love and only love. Okay? Before I even finish reading your question, I got a yes. And then I heard in my head, it's been a long time coming. A lot of dope running. Okay? Then I heard self-neglect. I heard you're not getting your needs met. And then I also heard that there might be some sort of abuse. And that could be emotional abuse. That could be, the neglect could be the abuse. Okay? And it feels like whatever's going on inside of your head, the internal conflict, the internal struggle that's happening, it feels like you're starting to beat yourself down about it. Okay? So the first part that I get is somebody who tries to impose their values onto you. So it could be a situation where you are kind of growing in a specific direction and that person is trying to keep you the same. It also get like lies, seduction, meaning like they're probably really, really fucking good with their words. And it's like you'll make a decision, but you might go back on that decision based on what it is that they're telling you. Then I got gullible. That's the next thing that I got. And it feels like you are actually in this period of a spiritual death. It feels like you're going through some type of ego death. It feels like you're at a new beginning and you're kind of struggling to let go of the old version of you for this new version of you, because you're standing on the fence when it comes to this decision. Okay. It feels like you need to feel your feelings. You need to step into your heart space, but it also feels like you're going through like a death and rebirth. So there's a need for you to, one, figure out what your values are right now and prioritize your life around that. And that actually specifically has to do with traditional values. So it could have to do with religion, and it could also have to do with knowledge, the way that you're bringing knowledge into your reality. And then there's also a need for you to get in tune with the natural world around you. You know, maybe you need to get out into nature. Maybe you need to ground yourself a little bit, and you need to start enjoying life more. Okay. You need to step into this childlike spirit, and you need to start having fun again, because it feels like you haven't had a sense of enjoyment in a long time. So where you're at right now, it feels like you're kind of standing on the fence a little bit, and there's a need for you to kind of build up your strength. There's a need for you to nurture yourself. And when I say nurture yourself, I mean like mother yourself like you would a child, because it feels like whatever the fuck is going on inside of your head is not helping. Okay. It feels like you're beating yourself up. And you're feeling really, really deep feelings. You're feeling really deep emotions, but you're not listening to yourself. Okay. It feels like you're focusing on the negative, and it's, you're starting to lose faith. You're starting to lose your inspiration. And you're bored. Like you're kind of stuck in the monotony of whatever it is that y'all got going on. Okay. So I think right now what's important is for you to learn how to nurture yourself, and also rely on your own guidance and trust your intuition, because, rely on your guidance and trust your intuition. It also feels like there might be a need for communication as well. But this might be a person who's really unconcerned with the feelings of other people. Okay. And it might be an issue when it comes to emotional intelligence. And it feels like you keep folding on your belief systems. Okay. You keep giving in to the bullshit. You keep admitting defeat. And you realized a long time ago that this was not what you want. Okay. So right now is a really important time for you to make conscious decisions and understand that relationships are built on fairness and reciprocity. Okay. Meaning like you have to be getting something back, and it doesn't feel like your needs are actually being met in a situation. Okay. Okay. So that was it. That was that one. Do you have any questions? I'm doing one question, Hydra, meaning like anybody can ask one question, and I will see what I'm picking up, and then I'll do a couple cards just for confirmation. Okay. So user 123456778. Do you have any feedback for me, my love? Thank you. I appreciated you confirmed it. Okay. Feels like I didn't need to confirm it for you, my love. It feels like you've known for a while. I'm sending you all the love in the world. Now is a great time for you to just start loving on yourself for a second. You know, worry about you for a second. Pull your energy back. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go back up, and we're going to go to the next questiones. All right. Okay. Hey, I would like a reading. My question is what? Don't play, y'all. Don't irritate me. I already told y'all biological processes are happening right now. I'm very on edge. If you have an actual question, put it in the chat. But if you don't have a question and you playing, I'm gonna block your ass. And I mean that from the deepest parts, in the darkest parts of my heart. Okay? All right. So let me go back. Okay. So we are at Tisha Lynn. Hold on. I don't know why I feel like I missed something. Okay, yes, I think that's where we are at. Sorry, I skipped you, Tisha. Okay, so we're at Tisha Lynn. What should I do to survive financially? No one will hire me. I'm stuck for almost 2 years. Okay. Okay. So this is what I got. So one, the very first thing that I got is you might need to create the way. I got wasted potential. I got in your own way, and you're betting on the wrong horse. So I don't know if you've made financial decisions that have put you in a compromising position, or you've made decisions that have put you in a compromising position, but it feels like you have been betting on the wrong horse. Okay, so give me 1 second. But I keep getting wasted potential, keeps being replayed in my head. It feels like there might be an issue when it comes to self-discipline and hard work in this reality. There's a need for you to overcome the obstacles, but it feels like you can't because you're stuck in the emotions of the thing. It feels like the emotions are kind of in your face, which are kind of paralyzing you in a way. It might be a situation where you might need to re-educate yourself, meaning like you might need to pick up a trade, or you might need to learn something new or a new skill. It also feels like that you have been a little bit stubborn and rigid in the way that you're going about things, meaning that you're refusing to compromise. So I don't know if it's a situation where there are opportunities for you, but you're unwilling to compromise on what those opportunities are, meaning like it's something that you probably don't want to do. But sometimes things are just a stepping stone, you know, so maybe you need to take it this avenue right now and just realize it's temporary. It's just trying to get you to where it is that you're supposed to be. It also feels like it's causing a lot of stress, and the stress is actually coming from the inside. There's self-imposed limitations. It's things that you're telling yourself. And what I heard was you might think that you're above certain things, like you're above certain things, okay? And you have to understand right now what you're doing is building a new foundation. So there might be a need for you to try some new things. It might be a need for you to go in a different direction, but it feels like you want this thing and that's what you want and that's what you locked on, but it might not be that thing, okay? It also feels like there might be a lack of confidence here, which is kind of holding you back as well. And it also feels like overbearing tendencies, which just means I don't know if it's like you want what you want and that's just what you want, okay? So what I would say is there's a need for you to bring your thoughts and your emotions into alignment, okay? Make sure that whatever it is that you choose next, that is not chose from a place of fear. It's actually chose from something that you actually want. But it feels like in order for you to do that, you're gonna have to get your internal world in order. Okay, you're gonna have to get some discipline. You're gonna have to be determined. You're gonna have to be ambitious. Okay. It also feels like you might need to compromise right now in this moment. Okay, which means that you're probably gonna have to do something that you don't want to do. But if it gets you to where you're going, it's just a stepping stone. It don't have to be forever. It also feels like security is something really important to you. So in order for you to get that security, you're going to have to retrain your brain a little bit. Okay. You need to figure out what your actual values are and make sure that you are making decisions based off of what you actually value and not based off of you trying to get money, right? It can't be from this place of fear. It has to be based on what you actually want. And then you have to release the self-imposed limitations, because you need to build whatever it is that you're trying to build on a better foundation. And I feel like you've been stuck because you in your own way, like you are wasting your potential. Like you could be doing something, but you're not doing it because you want things to be your way, but spirit is trying to move you in a different direction. Okay. So that's what I got to say about that one. Any confirmation for me, my love? Yes, I don't want to go back into behavior health. I have PTSD. My discipline is horrible too. Okay, yeah, it feels like it might not even be behavioral health. Like it could be something else that is you know, in alignment with that. Like it could be like adult protective services or something like that. Like see if there's anything else around that can, oh, behavioral health is adult services. Okay, that makes sense why I was thinking that. Okay. See if there's another avenue that you can take kind of in that realm of things. Or just realize that you're going to have to do what you're going to have to do for a brief second. And there might be a need for you to go back to school. There might be a need for you to develop a skill somewhere else. Okay. Which might take some time. So that means that you probably need some, patience. Okay. No, I was with kids. Okay. Got you. So maybe Spirit was saying, I don't know why I heard adult protective services. So I thought about school too. Yeah. Okay. So it might be something else that you can do within behavioral therapy. But it feels like you might need to do what you got to do right now to get you to where you're going. And it might be a need for you to develop a new skill. Okay. Alrighty. So we're going back to the top. What time is it? You saving this to YouTube. I couldn't take notes fast enough. Yes, I'm saving this to YouTube, but it'll be on there later on today. Sorry, y'all. I read really fast. So, you know, I read, I get confirmation, I give you the message. So yeah. Okay. So I'm going back up to the top. All right. Okay. We're finally ready for my partner, lover, friend, husband. What can I expect that to happen? The first thing that I heard is not right now. This is for G Lover Girl. It feels like there's a need for you to work on yourself. Like you're not ready to be able to receive whatever it is that you asking for. And then I hear self-love. It feels like a self-love issue, self-worth issue. It feels like you might have been a person in the past who accepted whatever lot you were given, because I keep hearing like your sense of belonging. Like it's like you, or no, I'm sorry, not your sense of belonging. Yes, your sense of belonging, but it feels like you want this thing because you think it makes you valuable as a woman, and you've been raised in a traditional way to where you think that you're less than if you don't have that. But it feels like all that energy is supposed to be geared towards you and where you are right now. And it feels like there's a need for you to strengthen your boundaries. There's a need for you to realize that you're worthy without those things. So that's the first thing that I get. Okay. Remember what I said. I mean it with love and love only. That's it. That's all. Yep. So the first thing that I get is hopelessness and despair. It feels like you have a lack of faith. Wait, give me clarity on that. Yeah, and it feels like there needs to be, you need to make more conscious decisions, because it feels like you've been making poor choices when it comes to your relationships. It feels like there were a lot of illusions in your relationships, and because you were afraid to step out into the unknown, you were getting guidance and you weren't listening to that guidance. Okay, it feels like that there's a lot of fear, and there is a need for you to be able to trust your intuition, and it doesn't feel like you can at this moment. It feels like you need to do a reevaluation of what your belief systems are, and it feels like that there's a need for you to rebuild your relationship with yourself, because you feel disconnected from self, right? And it feels like self-sabotaging behavior. It feels like self-sacrifice, like you are prioritizing somebody else's well-being and comfort over your own. And you cannot go into this next relationship and it be a healthy relationship doing that, because it needs to be two whole people coming together. Okay, not somebody coming to fulfill some type of void that you have. Okay. Let me see if there's anything else. Yeah, it feels like your relationship with yourself is what's most important right now. Yep. And it feels like maybe maybe in relationships, like you want it your way, and there's or maybe the person you are in relationship with are refusing to compromise. So you just let it be what it is. And you just kind of, what I'm seeing in my head, I hate to say it this way, spirit plays too much. It gives me what I know. So before I say that, I'm saying this with all the love. They're giving me the scene from Coming to America where the lady is like, whatever you would like, whatever you would like, you know, like jumping on one leg, barking like a dog, you know, that's what they giving me. So it feels like you need to work on you right now, my love. Do you have any confirmation for me? You're welcome, Tisha Lynn. Can I put out a disclaimer? What you mean? Like for me, that I mean this with love? If so, yes, and I will pin it. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna wait a little bit longer for you for G Lover Girl. I don't know if you're still on the live, but if you are, just give me some type of confirmation, thumbs up. You can even say, girl, I think you're wrong. Whatever you want to say. I'm gonna give you like 2 minutes, and then I'm not 2 minutes, but I'm gonna give you a little second, and then I'm gonna move forward. OMG, thank you. Me and my intuition is G Lover Girl. Okay, good. Oh, Glover Girl. Okay, girl. My bad. Okay, yeah. It feels like it's a relationship with yourself that needs to kind of be looked at. Oh, to all the big red impersonators, please do not inbox me with messages. Oh, period. I just did a reading for somebody last week who was like, oh yeah, I paid $35 for a reading and found out that it was like an impersonator. And I was like, y'all follow me on my real page. I don't, if it's not coming from my real page, then it's not me. And then I also have it pinned at the top of my page. I am never going to reach out to y'all. I don't need to. You know, I tell my guys to bring me who need me. I don't go looking for people. Actually, there's no credible reader that's going to go looking for you. It's not how it works. It's just not. So all of it, just assume every time somebody writes you in your chat and says, I have a message for you, or they DM you, or they put it in your comments, it block and delete. Scammer alert. Okay. Hey, LA Rocker. They be so quick too. Yes. And I'll just be like, I was like, oh girl, well, I'm sorry. I mean, my bad that you did that. But I ain't got nothing to do with that. Because I put all the disclaimers out that I can put out. You know, you ain't booked nothing through my website. You sending it to a Cash App that ain't even my name. You know, that's on you. Okay. Let me go back up. Okay. Okay. Okay, gotcha. Hey y'all, how are you doing, Taj? Laura, I'm doing really good. Thank you for asking. Hi, Lisa. Hey, Inspire Buddy. Hey, Grateful One. Yikes, you picking up on my energy. Oops. Could be, but I'm probably not. Should I take course A first or course B first? What do you mean by that? I heard A though. I heard that you need to take A. But let me see what the cards say. And I'll just go with whatever spirit is telling me. Your energy feels very vibrant. Like I feel like I want to laugh right now when I'm in your energy. And I like that. I like when people have like, it just tells me people have like a generally optimistic energy to them. Oh, shit. Hold up now. Okay. 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 So, Laura, what I'm basically getting from Spirit is that there's a need for you to make sure that every decision that you make right now is aligned with your life purpose. Okay. It feels like you need to be really decisive right now, and you need to also just release your old life for your new one. Okay, it's really important that are making you are making decisions based off of what you should do, opposed to what you want to do. Okay, meaning like you need to make decisions based off of what you know is best for you, and not what you want to do, meaning like falling into the temptations of the flesh. Okay, meaning, and that don't have to do with nobody else. It could be like literally you know that you should be working, but you sitting down and you in front of the TV all damn day. Like it could be like that. Okay, it feels like you really are in this energy where you are really trying to intellectualize everything, and it feels like there's a need for you to be really, really clear about what you actually want right now. Okay, because it feels like you're just in your head a little bit about it. It feels like you are overthinking everything. It feels like it's stressing you out, and it feels like there's some mental anguish. Okay, it also feels like there might be a bit of you focusing on the past a little bit. It might be that you have some fears from that past, but it's a need for you to kind of check yourself emotionally and the thoughts that are happening inside your head, because it feels like it's moving you away from where you're trying to go. Okay, the lack of progress is coming from the anxiety. Okay, so get really clear about what it is that you want right now. You need to kind of enter into this energy of abundance, and you need to kind of like liberate yourself. Like there's a need for you to embrace your individuality. There's a need for you to kind of move through life without caring about the judgments of other people, and just be courageous and brave in who you are. Because I get that a couple of times. And then there's also a need for you to trust your intuition and understand that you can be the businesswoman and be the mother. And I don't know if you're a mother, but you can be both things. But you got to stop being so concerned about the welfare of other people, because it feels like that's also leading to a lack of progress. But it feels like right now you are actually you have the most potential when it comes to changing your mindset. Okay, and I think that's what actually needs to change in order for you to bring whatever this is that you're trying to bring in. Okay, it feels like a mindset switch needs to happen, and it feels like right now you actually have the most potential for that. It feels like a lot of clarity about things are coming to you right now, but there's a need for you to get clear about what you actually need and want, and for you to make sure that your choices are aligned with that, which means that if it means you choosing somebody else over your dream, you need to choose your dream. Okay, you need to not be so concerned with the welfare of other people and pull that energy back to yourself, because it feels a little bit like you're giving your power away. Okay, trying to stimulate other people, but you need to be really using that energy for yourself. Okay, it feels like some new ideas are coming in, though. It feels like some clarity is coming in. So there's a need for you to, one, make sure in your relationships that it's mutual, that if you are giving somebody, you're also receiving. There needs to be some type of mutual fairness and reciprocity when it comes to yourself. You kind of need to step into your individuality and break free of societal standards. Like, do it your way and don't listen to other people. Do it your fucking way. You know exactly what to do. And then the last thing is you might need to communicate your needs as well. Okay, you might need to start telling people what it is that you need and set those healthy boundaries, because that's going to be important. Okay, that's what I get. Can I get some confirmation from you, my love? You're welcome, Glover. Glover girl. What is going on? Okay. Why is they playing? Okay. No, this is not for you, Inspire Buddy. I'm like literally calling them out for the people who they for. This is for Laura. Laura, do you have any confirmation, love, before I move on? Let me... OMG, my phone died. I don't think I got to your question yet, boo. I think you actually are coming up. No, I think you actually coming up, Portia. All right, Laura, I'm about to move on, my love. I'm gonna give you 30 seconds. $20 was enough. Alrighty, I'm moving on. Okay, so let me go back up. Okay. You don't have to put your question twice in the chat, y'all. I'm going down the list. And I'm probably not going to get to everybody's question, but I'll try to answer as many as I can. Okay, so Liz, this is for you. Liz D. Will Chris and I reconcile? All right. Stop. Okay. So the first thing that I got was, you know that you shouldn't. It feels like that this was not aligned, and it feels like that this was a karmic situation. But it feels like you're having trouble letting it go. Okay. Let me see what the cards say. Yeah, it's time to move on. It feels like your abandonment issues are what's causing you to hold on to this really tightly. However, it's not a situation that you're supposed to hold on. It's really a need for you to do some self-analysis, for you to do some introspection, some self-discovery. Because it feels like this situation might have disappointed you a lot. Okay. It also feels like, there's a lack of independence, stability, and security here. So I don't know if you were if he was recklessly spending or you were recklessly spending, but that's what I was getting. And it feels like there was an illusions, meaning like you were not seeing this thing clearly, and there's a fear of you stepping out into the unknown and actually trusting your intuition. And I don't know if that fear and anxiety causes you to stay in that situation, but it feels like that you're getting guidance and you're not actually listening to the guidance, and that's what's causing the issues. You are kind of buying into the illusion. It also feels like it's important for you right now to actually figure out what your values are. It's important for you to communicate what those values are. And it's important for you to organize your life around what those values are. And so what I mean by that is that you might need to look back at your previous relationships. And it could be friends, it could be everybody that you've come in contact with, and figure out what you liked about these people and what you didn't like about these people. And then in the category of what you like, you need to realize that that's what you actually need in relationships. And then the things that you don't like, you need to set boundaries, because it feels like, one, you're not very clear about what it is that you want. You just kind of wait until that person shows up, and then you just kind of go with the flow, like this is good enough, like this is close enough. But it feels like that you dealt with a lot of unhappiness because of that. You dealt with a lot of burden or feeling overwhelmed. And it feels like that situation might have pushed you to your breaking point. So there's a need for you to learn how to move forward from that situation. Okay. And Spirit said something about leaping before you look. So it's a need for you to actually go into your next relationship with intention, instead of being afraid that it's not going to come around, because it feels like it does when you actually start choosing yourself and setting healthy boundaries with yourself. Okay. Any confirmation for me, Liz? I don't even know if you're still in the chat, but I'm gonna wait a brief second and then I'll move on. That was for Liz D. Will me and Chris get back together? Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, anything. Okay. I'll give you a minute and then I'm gonna move forward. I'm just looking at y'all. Look at me. Oh, man. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Liz D, did you get, was that a yes? A yes? No? Maybe so? I'll give you like 2 more seconds to respond. If not, then I'm just going to move on. Oh yes, I read you, love. I just got done reading you. If you missed it, I'm gonna post this on YouTube. You're just gonna have to go watch it there. Okay. So I'm gonna go on to the next person. I'll post this on YouTube right when I get off, okay? So y'all have access to it. Okay, I'm gonna go to the next question. Hi, Mika. Hi, Pashe. Okay, let me go back up. I'm almost there. Okay, so, okay, Inspire Buddy, this is for you. Is there anything that you can pick up about the project that I've been assigned to? Okay, so the first thing that I heard was authority, and I don't know if that means that you have an issue with authority or there's something going on with the people who are leading the project. It feels like toxicity, if I'm being honest, and it feels like it might have been a project that you did not want to do. And then I heard compromise, so I don't know if it was you being unwilling to compromise or if you compromised when it came to this project, okay? And that seems like maybe a compromise on money. What's crazy is I get the temperance card, but I got it sideways. I literally got it like this, which is the card of balance, which is crazy. But it feels like there's a need for you to kind of have patience when it comes to this. There's a need for you to balance things out. There's a need for you to focus on harmonious relationships and kind of change your perspective when it comes to how you're approaching this, okay? It also feels like you're in this position of coming out of isolation. So that could be why you didn't want to take this position. It could have been that before maybe you were working from home, or maybe you were in a period of like in a pause or something. I also get that this is you like taking control over whatever your situation was prior to this. And it feels like you're finding solutions and finding options to kind of give you relief. There's also a fear of change that I feel here as well. Yeah, it feels like a fear of change is here, but it actually feels like that whatever this is actually going to lead to fulfillment, but the way that you're thinking about it is really important. Okay. It feels like it's a mindset thing. Okay. So there's a need for you to kind of check your emotions when it comes to this. There's a need for you to figure out what subconscious belief systems you have in place that are making you experience this fear, and you need to bring yourself into this place of peace and balance and tranquility, because it feels like whatever it is, reservations or whatever it is that you have about this project is actually coming from the inside, and it's coming from your past. So I don't know if you're worried about the authority being toxic, and because that's what it kind of feels like. Maybe you're worried about the leadership being a toxic work environment. Maybe you've been in toxic work environments before. It feels like this might not have been a project that you wanted to do, but you're compromising. Okay. It feels like ultimately though, if you change your mindset, it is going to be something that's very fulfilling. Okay. You are going to be able to have success in this area. And it's going to help you to be able to realize your dreams. Okay. So again, it might be a situation where you need to get out of your own way and realize that this situation is not your last situation. Okay, so that's for Inspire Buddy. There was a person I was going to work with, someone, but they seemed like they were being shady or ego. Yeah, it feels like this is actually coming from previous experience though. It feels like that you need to change the way you're thinking about the situation, because of whatever it is that happened in the past has made you a little untrusting of people. Just give them the benefit of the doubt. Okay. You understand that peace is something you cultivate inside of yourself. It feels like this is a good step in whatever it is that you're trying to do in life. Okay. But whatever's going on inside of your head is causing the issue. Okay. I don't know if that affects the way that you approach this person. It affects the way that you're showing up in that environment, but it feels like this is a good thing. But you have to manage your mind a little bit. You have to change your perspective and allow it to be good. Allow it to be a good thing. Okay? So that's Inspire Buddy. All right. I think we might be near you, Portia. Let me go back up real quick on y'all. Okay. I'm in England. Okay. Is this type of reading on your website? No. I will fix it. Thank you. Thank you kindly. Hey, Shah Zarati. Probably said that fucked up and I apologize. Okay. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate you. You confirmed. Okay, good. That's user 123. Ankh and Mayat. I have a question. Should I move out of state with my spouse to start our new journey? This is for Kay's Headspace. Kay, if you're on a chat, tap the like button for me so I can know that you're here. Kay's Headspace. Should I move out of state with my spouse to start our new journey? Okay. Okay, so the first thing that I get, it feels like you are in an internal battle when it comes to this because you don't like releasing control. You don't like depending on other people. And I don't know if that means that he has a new job or something that is moving y'all somewhere else, but it feels like a release of control, and it feels like there's an internal battle going on when it comes to this. It feels like this has potential though. And I heard step outside of the box. And it also feels like maybe you don't want to leave your family behind. So let me see what else the cards say, okay? Yeah. Yep, it feels like the first card that I got was refusing to compromise. It feels like you're being a little stubborn about the situation. Somebody's being a little stubborn about the situation, and you might be in a state where you're refusing the offer. You're focusing on the negative of the situation. Yeah, because I get focusing on the negative twice. And it's causing conflict, okay? It feels like it's a battle over authority. It feels like that this might be a situation though that provides you guys stability, and it could be helping you to build the foundation of something new, but it feels like it's causing a lot of conflict, and it feels like that conflict has to do a lot with self-imposed limitations. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, it feels like that there might actually be success when it comes to this. But the way that you're thinking about the situation is what it is that you need to look at. But it also feels like that there's some things that you might need to communicate when it comes to the situation, meaning like self-expression, okay? If I don't know if like you are, like if you have a business or something that is like creative self-expression and you feel like you might be losing out on that, or you might have to give up on that. I'm not necessarily sure what that is, but it feels like this actually has the potential to be a successful thing, but it's a need for compromise, okay? I don't know why I keep feeling like no, though. I keep feeling like no. Hold on. Kay's head, do you trust this person? Because it feels like there's a lack of trust here, and that there is actually a valid reason for you not to trust. Okay, it feels like, yeah, because I keep seeing like that there's disagreements, and you feeling like there might be like a potential for failure when it comes to this. Thank you so much. I'm a hairstylist and I feel like I'm going to have to start over. Okay, that's what I was picking up on. I was feeling like you had some type of creative expression and you felt like you was going to have to give that up. It feels like, you know, you'll be fine wherever it is that you decide to go, but it feels like the trust is the issue. And I don't know if that's enough to get y'all to where you're trying to go. That's my biggest pushback, is trying to trust him because he wasn't very stable or faithful in the past. That's what I was picking up on. Yeah. Yep. And then I got chaos and destruction and sudden upheaval. Like, you really don't like that because it's going to require you to have to depend on him, and you don't necessarily want to release control. But then I get this, you know, so I think that you might need to reevaluate the foundation that y'all have built y'all life on, because it feels like that if you're going to be with him, you're going to need to have to trust him, you know, and I feel like you're going to be okay wherever it is that you decide to go, but there's just a lot of fear here, and I don't feel like it's your fault for having that fear. I feel like he very much so fucking earned where y'all at, you know. But it just feels like y'all building something new, and that this is something that might bring security and abundance. And I don't know if you guys are married, but also like marriage, like it feels like that this is him taking some type of action on that thing. But ultimately, I think that the decision has to be yours when it comes to this, because I feel like you are in an internal battle. I feel like there keeps being disagreements. I feel like you don't want to release control and you don't want to have to start over. So I think it's a period of time right now where you need to figure out what it is that you actually want. And to see if you can actually trust this person again, because that is why I keep feeling like it feels like somebody on your mama's side is definitively saying no. But it feels like that's not what Spirit is saying, though. Okay? Spirit is saying you need to figure out what it is that you want, and that the reason why I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling is because there's a lack of trust and there's an internal battle that's going on. And you feeling like you have to give all these things up, and you feel like you already gave up enough. You know? I'm doing much better at communicating my distrust, so thanks for that. You're welcome, my love. You're welcome. Okay? This has potential, though. This definitely does. So I think that you just got to figure out where you are right now and what you actually want. Okay? Because the trust is probably the biggest thing that I feel in this situation. Okay? Alrighty. Who's next? Okay. Yes, I'm here. Okay. Which path should I choose? I don't know how to answer that, love. Let me see what the cards say. Okay. Okay, so the first thing that I heard was self-exploration. And that feels like you don't, it feels like you haven't actually come across the thing yet. And like anything that you choose right now is going to be based off of, fear of lack instead of like what you actually want. Okay. So let me see what the cards say. Get some confirmation. Yeah. Feels like you're coming out of isolation, rejoining the world, finding mental strength, awakening to yourself. And it feels like whatever it is that you do next is going to bring fulfillment, but it feels like there's a little bit of lack of security when it comes to you. It feels like that there might be a financial thing that's standing in your way, or lack of independence. And there's a need for you to look at what you actually value and make sure that you make decisions based off of that. So I don't know if there has been poor financial management before, or you've been the type of person, actually it feels more like you've been the type of person who starts a lot of things but doesn't finish them. But it feels like you need to figure out what you actually value and then make the decision based off of that, and it'll be a lot more sustainable for you. It feels like right now you actually do have a lot of potential when it comes to business right now. But when we're talking about potential, it can go either fucking way. The choices that you make right now are actually really important. And if I was you, the choices that I would be making is you need to go explore new things, because there's a bit of you needing to explore yourself, because I don't think you tapped into whatever the thing is that you're supposed to do, because I don't think you know yourself very well. Okay, so there's a need for you to explore yourself. There's also a need for you to creatively express yourself. So this thing might have to do a lot with creativity. You know, it might do a lot with you stepping into your authenticity, but also letting your light shine, because for some reason I'm feeling like that you've dimmed your light for a very long time, meaning like you haven't shined as bright as you want to shine because you don't want to take up space, or you don't want to be seen or perceived, or whatever the case may be. And then it also feels like that there's a need for you to kind of step into this ambitious energy where you need to find something that you're actually passionate about, and then kind of let that lead you as well. And when you go on this journey, there's a need for you to not take no for an answer. Like, pick something that you can commit yourself to, meaning you really fucking love this thing, and then go after it. Okay, but I feel like you don't necessarily know yourself well enough to figure out what path it is that you're supposed to take. And it feels like that whenever you do it this way and you step into what you should do versus what you want to do, and meaning like you're making sure that this thing is actually aligned with what you're trying to bring in, it feels like it's going to be very successful. Okay, it feels like it's going to be very successful, and it might have to do with communication. It might have to do with something of that sort. Okay, but you'll need to trust your intuition on this, and you'll need to explore a little bit. You know, try new things, because I think that you just haven't tapped into whatever it is you're supposed to be doing right now. And that's for Rosa Makes Rainbows. Okay, you got any confirmation for me, Rosa? I don't even know if she's still on here. I'll give you a couple minutes and then I'm gonna move on. I don't want to turn my music back on because I'm trying to hear, but at the same time, I want to catch a vibe. So how do I do them both at the same time? I mean, I can read with the music on, but I just be distracted because I be hearing the tunes. And I can't pass up on a good song, on a good vibe. I can't do it. Okay, Rosa, I'm going to give you like a couple more seconds, then I'm going to move on. Okay, I'm moving on. Love you, girl. Hope that helps. Okay, where we at? All right. Why am I not remembering my dreams? Ooh. Ooh, my heart is beating so fast. Okay. This is for Rhonda. I don't know how to say this without scaring you. All right, so I'm gonna just say it. Know that I mean this with love, and then I'm gonna give you a solution, okay? But it feels like one, I don't know if you just went through a period of something that was very stressful, but it feels like something lowered your vibration, and it feels like that something is attached to your throat. And I don't know if it has to do with you not communicating your needs or you communicating something, because I heard attachment, and then I got a pain in the back of my throat, which usually comes from you not speaking up and you not, articulating what your needs are in a situation. So I don't know if something was stressing you out and you chose to keep the peace and you kept somebody else's peace and not your own peace. But it feels like whatever it is, that attachments are not bad things. They're just amplifying something that you need to heal. So whatever it is that's happening, you need to learn how to communicate. You need to learn how to heal from whatever that fear is, because it's fear involved in whatever that is, okay? I don't want you to get scared about this though, because it's not a bad thing. It feels like there's a need for you to take action. It feels like that you actually have a lot of potential when it comes to getting your access to your dreams back. There might be a need for you to keep a dream journal and keep your attention on your dreams, because you kind of got to trick your brain into you have to trick your brain into focusing on whatever it is that you want to focus on. Meaning, like, I would be recording every single dream that you have. I will keep a dream journal, because then you'll start dreaming more. I will make sure that you're sleeping in a dark room and that you got all the lights off. Okay, you can't have nothing on, meaning like don't turn no TV on, don't turn nothing on. Okay, sleep on your back if you can, because that'll help. And then if you are still struggling with dreaming, what I would do is set an alarm clock for like 3 in the morning or 2 in the morning. Get up for about 30-45 minutes, then go back to sleep. Usually that'll trigger you into a dream state. Okay, but I feel like it's stress. You need to get the stress is the problem. I don't even think the attachment is the problem. I think the stress is the problem. So there's a need for you to get a little bit more rested. There's a need for you to, for you to get into harmony, because it feels like you're disconnected from yourself. It feels like you're detached from yourself, and it feels like whatever it is that you've recently been through really, really lowered your vibration and damaged your connection that you have with yourself. And it feels like it might have to do with money, if I'm being all the way honest. And then it also feels like there might be a little fear of the unknown as well. Meaning like you might be afraid of the spiritual side, and you might have turned your gifts off altogether. Okay. But it feels like you need to change the way that you're thinking about it. It feels like that you need to stop being so overly cautious. And there might needs to be some focus on your finances, because I keep getting energy around your finances, which might be causing the stress, which might be causing your inability to dream. Get you some mugwort's tea and take it every single night before you go to sleep. But there is a need for you to heal whatever thoughts you're having in your head. Like, start writing that shit down, and that's the shit you need to focus on. Okay? And when you heal that, everything will fix itself naturally. Okay? How to get connected. I'm an Aquarius. How to get attached. What's the best way to heal? You need to do shadow work, my love. You need to do some shadow work. You need to kind of, whatever thoughts are coming through your head, is really important that you write them down and that you do some work around that area. Like, even if you're sitting in meditation, hold on. Okay. I have to let spirit know I get it. Stop hurting me. Okay. But there's a need for you to, I would actually meditate for about 5 minutes a day, set a timer, and I want you to just lay there and like maybe turn on the AC or turn on something. Okay. And I want you to just try to listen. That's it. Just try to listen. Anytime a thought interrupts it, I want you to just say, that's good, but for later. And once you get out of your 5-minute meditation, anything that came up is the shit that you need to deal with. Okay? Okay. I think you need to get connected with yourself first. And what I mean by that is, like, you need to love on yourself more. You need to communicate what your needs are. You need to speak your truth. Because this thing cannot, nothing can attach to your throat if your throat was actually healed. But if you're not speaking your truth and you keeping the peace and you're trying to make sure that everybody else is good, you're not making sure that you good. You know, so that's what I will be working on right now, is being able to assert yourself, being able to tell people what your needs are, being able to set those healthy boundaries, okay? Okay, that's for my girl Rhonda. Okay, hold on. I'm planning on suing my landlord. Do you see me winning? Okay, this is for Kay. Kay, if you in the chat, tap the like so I can know that you're here. Don't nobody tap the like. Kay, are you still in the chat? Double tap the screen if you are. If not, I'm gonna move on. Okay, moving on. Oh, is that you? Okay. I'm planning to sue my landlord. Do you see me winning? Yep, I feel like no obstacle can stand in your way, and I heard yes. When you said that, it feels like whatever it is, it feels like what I heard was gross neglect. Like maybe they were obligated by law to do something that they didn't do. Hold on. Gross neglect. Yeah, it feels like gross neglect means a severe failure by the landlord to maintain the property and ensure it is safe and habitable for the tenants. Okay? Meaning like something like if you had a leaky roof or some shit like that and you told them about it multiple times and they never came and fixed it, you got a better case if you hurt yourself. But it feels like, I just worked in personal injury, girl, though, not too much. I'll tell you how to get their ass. But it feels like that this is actually going to be a successful situation for you. Okay, and I'm just going to leave it there. But it feels like it's also going to require you to do some work, though. So make sure that you're committed to the process, okay? Because it feels like you do actually have a case. All right, let me go back up. Okay. The algorithm is algorithming. Okay. How do I unblock myself? My energy is automatically depleted when I start to care for myself. Yeah, that feels like a belief thing. It feels like you probably didn't have to care for yourself for a long time, so you don't even know how to do it. I don't know if you were dependent on somebody else or what that's coming from, but it feels like you don't necessarily even know how to take care of yourself because you've been enabled to a certain extent, okay? Yep, lack of independence is the first card that I get, is lack of independence, okay? Yep, self-imposed limitations is what I get right after that. So it feels like that there's a need for you to kind of go back with, like, there's a need for you to kind of sit with yourself and figure out that I can't energy, because that's what I keep getting, is like that I can't energy. You need to go back and sit with yourself, and you also need to be willing to explore new things, because it feels like It feels like you haven't taken action on the things that you want to do because of your foundation. It has to do with either your parents or it has to do with your values. Okay, so there's a need for you to review those areas, but also there's a need for you to get out of that I can't energy. And even if you're scared, do it anyway. Okay. Yeah, and it feels like mental health. I don't know why, but it feels like mental health might be something. You feeling powerless, you feeling hopeless. Oh shit. And you've just been, I don't know if you're just waiting for something to happen or you just been waiting around, but there's an energy of you feeling trapped or feeling confined, and that goes back to those self-limiting belief systems, okay? And this is for Pache. Yeah, and it feels like you are at a crossroads right now. It feels like the decisions that you make are really, really important, but you've just been sitting on the fence. Okay, it feels like that when you are having to make these decisions, it's causing you stress, and it feels like that decision, like making your own decision, feels a little painful for you, and it feels like there's a need for you to face your own fears. Okay. Because you're in a state of feeling lonely, you're in a state of feeling isolated and paranoid, and it feels like you're almost paralyzed by this fear. Okay. Anything else, Spirit? Yeah, it feels like you just need to enjoy life. Like it feels like you need to start having fun again. Like you need to learn through your experiences and get out there, and even if you're scared, just do the thing. Like start having fun again. It's so important that you start having fun again, because it feels like you are standing in the way of your abundance. You are standing in the way of you having the life that you actually want. So stop telling yourself that you can't do it, and stop letting the thoughts win. It's time for you to win. Oh, you're in therapy. Okay. Period. I love that for you. Thank you, finding my truth. Good. Good, Rhonda. I love that. These are not paid questions. I'm just answering questions until I'm tired of answering questions. Oh, and I'm losing a little steam here. I'm trying to keep going because a lot of y'all energy is heavy, if I'm being honest. Okay, so that was the question. That was the question. Okay. So this is Shazarati. Hold on real quick, y'all. 1 second. Okay. Shazarati, is my energy blocked or am I blocking myself? Sometimes I feel like I do everything and get nowhere. It actually feels like you feel like you're not doing enough. And it feels like you having a hard time feeling satisfied with where you are. And it feels a little bit like survival mode. You don't know when enough is enough. You just keep trying to climb this ladder, and it feels like you really, really focus on the outcomes. And anytime that you're not where you want to be, meaning like you got really fucking high expectations, and whenever you're not reaching those expectations, you become dissatisfied with where you are. But until you can step into that energy of gratitude, until you can realize where you are and stop reaching for that amount, because it feels like an amount that you're reaching for, you're going to continue to feel blocked. You're going to continue to feel like you're not doing enough, but it feels like you are doing a lot. You just don't want to see the evidence of your progress. Okay. Let me drink some water. Hold on, y'all. Yep. Okay. There's a It feels like, again, that this King of Wands energy of you being a master when it comes to business, you being a leader when it comes to business, you really going after shit. And it feels like you're very decisive and you like being in charge. You know exactly what to do, but it feels like you need to have patience. It feels like you're being led by your curiosity, right? You're doing the right things, but you need to be patient. And your inability to be patient is what's causing the problem. It also feels like you're very calculating in a way, and there's a need for you to kind of release control. There's a need for you to honor your spiritual self as well. So I don't know if the decisions that you've been making about what you're doing are actually aligned with you, because it feels like whatever it is, you're moving the way that you're moving because of a childhood wound. Okay, there's a need for you to look at what your childhood wound is and heal that, because it feels like you're not actually following your intuition. And there's also this need for you to release your old self for your new self. Okay, because it feels like you have been on a spiritual journey. It feels like you're trying to do the soul searching, but it feels like you're not at a place where you're honoring yourself right now. It feels like whatever it is that you're supposed to do is actually supposed to be creative, but you kind of got to get in this energy of imagining that, you know, things are actually possible for you, because it feels like rigidness. It feels like you are like, it's almost like Virgo energy, like very detail oriented, and you want things to work out just like this, and you struggle when you're with imperfection, and you your internal critique is fucking you up. Who needs enemies when you just gonna fuck yourself up anyway? You know, so it feels like that. So there's a need for you to go back to your foundation. There's a need for you to check in with your emotional energy. There's a need for you to go back to your belief systems and make sure they actually align with what you want to do. Because whatever it is that you want to do is going to require you to trust your intuition. It's going to require you to tap in with your intuition. It's going to require you to tap in with your heart. And it feels like you've probably just been intellectualizing the shit out of stuff. Okay? So there's a need for you to just be a little bit more patient. It feels like it's coming. It's delayed news. It don't mean that it's not coming. Okay. Let me see if there's anything else. Yeah, it feels like you feel like you having a lack of progress, but it comes from this constantly reaching for more. It just feels like right now is an important time for you to make sure that your choices are aligned with your life purpose and what it is that you're actually here to do, and that it's not you making choices based out of fear, okay, or not being able to meet a specific expectations. You almost need to release control of what the expectation is, and just because it feels like that's what's causing the limitation is your expectations. You want it to happen a specific way, and if it's not happening that way, you think you're not doing well. But it keeps you from not being able to see what you are doing well in the moment. Okay. You were so on point. Okay, thank you, Pashe. Okay, so that was actually for... Who was that for? That was for Shah Zarati. Give me some confirmation in the chat, love. Yeah, Shah Zarati or Shaz. I'm gonna wait 2 seconds and I'm moving on. 1, 2, okay. I'll come back after my next reading and see if you said something. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so next I have Daryl. Kid, career direction I should go into. So much I would love to start, but not sure. I don't even know if I should trust this, what I got, but I'm about to, let me get confirmation. Hold on. The first thing that I heard was like cooking and making plates. I don't know if you do that, but I'm just going to put that out there, okay? It feels like, again, it's a situation where you need to make sure that the choices that you make are aligned with what you actually want, okay? It feels like that whatever it is that you decide to do is going to actually bring fulfillment to you and stability and security. And it might actually have to do with kids. So I don't know if you could be in like healthcare, or you could be in like you could be working in healthcare, or maybe you're supposed to be working in healthcare, childcare, and maybe that's what where the culinary comes in. Maybe there's a need for you to combine your skills. But it feels like right now you are kind of standing in between two worlds, okay? Meaning like you're kind of standing on the fence. There's a need for you to make sure that your thoughts and your emotions are actually in alignment with each other. Let me go down because I just want to see if that culinary thing makes sense. I wanted to do something that is needed and not for the money. Okay. My twin sister loves to cook things. Okay. A twin. That makes sense because twins' energy is hard to determine who I'm reading for, okay? So I hope that this is not for your twin, because I'm getting through the cards that it might have to do with children, okay? But the first thing that I heard was culinary, making plates, so that could be for your sister, okay? But it feels like you kind of sitting on the fence, and there's a need for you to make sure that your thoughts and your emotions are aligned. It feels like that you need to get into whatever it is and see how it's making you feel, okay? It feels like, again, it's a situation where there's a lot of potential here, specifically when it comes to you changing the way that you feel about work, but there's also a need for you to kind of change the way you're thinking about life, because it feels like that it might be a situation that if you like fall hard on bad times, that you just kind of let things kind of go to the side. But it feels like you need to learn how to manage your mind, and you need to learn how to direct your will as well. Meaning like understanding that you have everything that you need inside and outside of you, okay? There's nothing that you actually need. Every tool that is necessary for you to bring in whatever this next thing is inside of you. So there's a need for you to step into your creativity. There's a need for you to use what's at your disposal. Use what's at your disposal. I feel like there might be a potential for you when it comes to communicating something. So I don't know if that's sharing your experiences. Maybe you could be sharing your experiences with kids, or being vulnerable, speaking at schools, like that type of thing. But it feels like whatever it is going to be self-employed. Like you're not going to be working for somebody else, okay? And what I'm getting next is like kind of like a lack of foresight. Like you need to plan. Like you need to plan this thing out, whatever it is. Figure out what it is that you want. Plan it out. Make sure that your choices are aligned with what it is that you want. And it feels like whatever you do, you're going to have fulfillment in it. You just need to have some boundaries. You need to figure out who you are, because there's a little bit of energy of you not necessarily knowing who you are, or having like a fragile sense of identity, okay? So there's a bit of you needing to kind of come into yourself a little bit. There's a bit of you needing to wake up to yourself a little bit, which can either be you exploring new things or you trying new things, but it feels like whatever it is that's going to get you there is mindset. You need to change the way that you're thinking about things. You need to learn how to digest life a little bit better. Understand that you're going to have good times and you're going to have bad times. That's just a part of life, okay? Don't let it knock you off your fucking square though, okay? It feels like whatever this is, like I said, is an entrepreneurship type of thing. So there's also going to be a need for you to trust yourself. There's also going to be a need for you to plan things out a little bit. And there's going to be a need for you to have personal boundaries. And I don't know if that means that you give up what you want for other people, or if that means that you depend on the opinions of other people. But now it's time for you to really depend on yourself. Figure out who you are. Figure out, once you get into the thing, it feels like you're going to know what's for you. Make sure that your thoughts and your emotions are aligned when you try that new thing, you know, because I feel like for some reason I'm feeling like you're more in the moment type of person. Meaning like you're not going to know until you try it. Okay. So that's what I got to say about that one. That is so funny though that I was picking up on your twin, because when I wrote down culinary, making plates, I said to myself, no, I don't feel like that's for her, but I'm just gonna say it. Oh, you're welcome, my love. You're welcome, okay? You are welcome. Goody, goody, goody. Okay. I've been on here for like an hour, so I'll just do a couple more. Where am I at? Okay, career and direction. Okay. Red, is it okay that I inbox you on something I picked up on the last live I called? Sure. What should I work on this week in regards to my business and health? Okay. Hi, Jabu. Are you still on here? Tap the screen for me if you are. Okay. What should you work on this week? Okay, so the first thing that I heard was mental health. I don't know if that means that you're going backwards a little bit, or that some things have recently occurred that haven't been affecting the way what's going on in the mind. But the first thing that I heard is mental health, okay? Okay. So the first thing that I get is money problems, and I get maybe unpaid bills. And then I get a new beginning is actually coming. It actually feels like, again, you're at this place where you have the most potential, but you need to kind of nurture your mind a little bit. You need to release the old version of you for this new version of you. And you also need to just, again, kind of go back and look at those belief systems and make sure, again, that you're not operating from this place of like hopelessness and despair, and that you're actually you're actually focusing on the positive instead of focusing on the negative. Okay. What else did you say? Health and business. Okay. Yeah, it feels like there's a need for you to face your fears. And for some reason, I keep feeling like divided loyalty. So I don't know if you actually are like standing in between between two people that you care about. And like, there's like, I don't know, like it feels kind of like torn between two people or two relationships or something like that. So I'm just going to throw that out there. It also feels like a lack of completion. So maybe there's like, you need to figure out what to commit to right now. Okay. And it feels like you again are just being too cautious. Like you need to take a risk. You need to kind of like let, no. What just happened, love? Because it feels like that there is somebody who is intentionally like being malicious, and it's causing disharmony and trust, and it's causing it feels like there's a lack of accountability here. And I don't know why I feel like this is mom, but I'm gonna just say that. But it feels like that something is pulling you out of alignment. Give me some. I need some. Always here. Okay. Hydra, give me some confirmation, love. Am I on to something? Because I don't know why I feel like something happened. And it's pulling you out of alignment. Not with your mom, but it is with somebody. There's something happening. Oh, just been tired. Last week was drained. But what's the thing that I'm picking up on torn between two relationships? What do I feel? Oh, okay. Enough said. Okay. It feels like whatever is happening right now is just pulling you out of alignment. There's a need for you to kind of recalibrate, focus back on nurturing yourself. It also feels like that it feels like somebody is taking a lot of risk. Feels like a lot of risk is being taken. But it feels like for you, progress can happen. You know, you just got to keep doing what you're doing. Don't let whatever this is knock you off your path, okay? It feels like when it comes to you, no obstacle can actually stand in your way because you're so fucking determined you're going to get it done. But there's a need for you to nurture yourself right now. There's a need for you to pay attention to what's going on in your mind, okay? And that's how we handle that one, okay? I hope that was helpful, my love. Keep doing what you're doing to get to where you're going. Okay, sorry, I'm trying to find the next question. Okay. I'm going to need a reading soon. Okay. Okay, Portia, where is your question at? Did I not see your... Did I skip past your question or something? Portia, are you still on here? Tap the screen if you are. If you're not, I'm still... Okay. Okay. I skipped your question, Portia. I'm so sorry. You probably on here like, girl, what the fuck? What the hell? Okay. My bad, girl. Okay. You said home care business. So this is what I feel. I feel like yes, but it feels like that is time consuming right now and it's taking a lot of energy that you don't have. But it feels like it just feels like a rough spot. It feels like you just need to get through these next couple of months. And I think things are going to lighten up a little bit for you in these next couple of months. I'm hearing after May, so it feels like June might be a good time. It just feels like you got a shit ton on your plate right now and you're trying to figure out how to prioritize. And it feels like that this is eating up a lot of your time, okay? Or taking you away from something that you would rather be doing, okay? So I'm going to put that out there, and then I'm going to pull some cards for you. Portia, are you still on here? Give me some confirmation in the chat. Dreams have been crazy. It was. Thank you. I appreciate you. Okay, good. Portia, let me know that you're still with me, love. I'm still going to do it for you because I skipped your question and that's fucked up. You know, I did not mean to do that. I promise you. But it's the going up and down, which is the issue. Okay. Well, I'm going to do it anyway. It feels like there's a need for you to surrender to the storm because it feels like there's been a lot of upheaval. There might have been a lot of setbacks recently. Or a lot of chaos, but it feels like whatever it is the chaos is happening to build whatever you're trying to build on a sturdier foundation. Okay. So even though things are moving really fast for you right now, it feels like it's to set you up for the future so that this thing is sustainable for you. Okay. It feels like right now it's really important that you create the structure though. You get into a routine and you kind of need to stick to your routine a little bit. Okay. Because again, like I said, you're at a foundational point. It's really important that you don't move impulsively and that you, that you're a little bit more practical right now. Okay. It also feels like that, there's a need for you to master your emotions as well. And what's happening with you internally. And I don't know if this is actually, it feels like this card actually might mean that you have somebody around you who is actually helping you, like helping your mental, like they're emotionally supportive and they trying to help you through this thing. And this feels like a male energy. And it feels like this person is giving you good advice about the business. It feels like it's something that you should listen to, but also trust your intuition. It also feels like, again, there might be a need for you to master your emotions as well. And also learn how to digest life a little bit easier, because it feels like you go through cycles, like you go through ups and you go through downs, and the way that you're thinking about things is what's going to really help you to get to the next thing, because it does actually feel like that there is some good luck when it comes to this business and getting this business to where you want it to be, but it's the mind that's causing the issue. Okay. It also feels like self-limiting belief systems as well, needing to release and just kind of let go, like let go of let go of your expectations, trust yourself and keep pushing through. Because also energy wise, this week is a lot of tension in things that you've already started or you've recently started. Okay. So, you could just be, it feels like you're just going through going through the mud right now. Okay. Let me see if there's anything else I can say about this. I'm hearing be still though. It might be time for you to you need to sit with yourself a little bit and try to get your mind together. Okay. Yeah, because it feels like you're trying to admit defeat, but it feels like you really need to call on your inner strength right now. You need to manage your mind a little bit better, and you need to watch how you're talking to yourself. Give yourself a lot more grace right now. Be more confident in yourself. You know, step into your authenticity. Okay, and know that you can do this, because it feels like, again, you're getting in your own way because you feel helpless. You feel like you kind of reaching your limit, because it feels like it's been a lot of work. Okay. But it feels like that there's a need for you to kind of sit in introspection. It's a need for you to look deeper within yourself. And it's a need for you to kind of look at those areas where you're telling yourself that you can't do it, because you actually can. Okay. It feels like this is actually a good thing. You just got to manage your mind and manage your emotions. So that was for Portia. Sorry, my girl, that I missed you. So that was for you, my love. It just feels a little hectic right now. That's it. I want to hear this song so bad. It's just replaying in my head. It's almost like I get like an earworm or something. It's like something to keep just replaying. Like, okay, like I get it. It's a good song. Okay, let me see. Okay. Powerful message for her. Should I relocate out of the U.S.? This is for I Am Lisa 888. So Lisa, I actually read your question a while back, and the first thing that I heard is yes. Okay. However, I don't know if it's this summer that it happens. It feels like it could be soon, but it feels like there might be a little bit more planning that needs to happen before you take that leap. Okay. But it feels like this is something that you wanted to do for a while. And it feels like it's like the first step in you, like, you know, doing something for you. Okay. Doing something that you want to do. Okay. It feels like you might have been depressed recently, or you might have been going through something. For some reason, I'm getting cheating. So I don't know if you were recently cheated on or what the case may be, but I'm getting something around that. That's what keeps sticking out to me. But it's caused you to feel kind of powerless and hopeless. And it feels like you are in this place where you're trying to change the way that you're thinking about things, and you're trying to move in a different direction. But it's still some belief systems that you need to look at when it comes foundation wise. It feels like this I can't energy is there as well, which is kind of holding you back from pulling the gun, you know, pulling the trigger. on whatever it is that you want to bring in. But it feels like this is actually going to be successful if you choose to do it, because it's something that you wanted to do for a long time. It's been in your heart, but there's a need for you to change your mindset around it, and there's a need for you to kind of go after what you want. It also feels like that this is something that is, it feels like this is justice. And I don't know if you've been in a tough spot lately. And it feels like a new beginning. It feels like it's justice. Okay. Yeah. Turning over a new leaf is what I'm getting. It feels like it's going to be successful, my love. Like karmic justice is what I'm saying. So I don't know if things have been a little tough for you lately, but it feels kind of like karmic justice. Okay. But it feels like you need to, spend a little bit more time on the planning phase, because you're not very clear about what you need right now. And it feels like maybe in the past you haven't stood up for yourself. Okay. And you haven't been clear about what your wants and needs are. And you've suffered because of it. You've experienced some hardships because of it. Okay. But now is the time for you to really embrace your individuality and do the thing. Break free from whatever it is that's making you feel trapped, and trust your intuition. Okay. Because it feels like you need this. And it feels like, yeah, happy endings. It feels like happy endings. Okay. It feels like it's going to give you some security as well. So that was for I Am Lisa. You still with me, Lisa? That's definitely a confirmation. Okay. Thank you. I'm not in a relationship. I'm changing my mindset. Okay. I don't know why I don't know why I was feeling like cheating. Okay. I'm glad that's good confirmation, though. It feels like this is a good thing, Lisa. All righty. Do I wanna do? Okay. May ask if they are in the room before you leave. They might have left. Oh no, honey. I control what goes on this live, my love. I post all my lives on YouTube, so even if they're not on here, they can still see it. I've been waiting on your live. Hey, Lexus. The joy from children outside is so peaceful, period. Okay. Okay. Okay, so Amiris, this is for you, love. I hope you're still here. I low-key think I got skipped. Maybe my comment got filtered. Oh, it might have got filtered. Let me go back up, because it looked like Addictive said something too. Let me go to the top. I would like a reading. I'm trying to heal my body naturally through fasting, but I have not been able to stick to my regimen. Okay, so that's Addictive. I don't know why I'm hearing yeah, it feels like an internal battle. And I heard like addicted to food. I don't know why. Wait, I don't know why I'm getting for you. Hold on. Before we even get to the whole fasting thing, it feels like something else is coming through for you. Let me go back. Okay, addictive you here. So it's about the fasting, but what I'm getting for you, and sometimes spirit is on its own accord. It feels like that maybe you were in a period of conflict where I don't know if you was getting into it with people or defensive or like there was a lot of conflict and shit going on in your life, and it feels like you've been through a lot of backstabbing. It feels like a lot of people have you've had to sever ties with a lot of people around you, which led you into this soul searching where you're trying to figure out, you know, what the next steps are for you. It feels like you're at a pivotal point or a transitional point where you're trying to figure out how to live in a different way than you've been living, than you were living before. It's like almost again like going back and figuring out what your foundation needs to be set on. But it feels like there's some childhood wounds that you need to look at, okay? Because even though you're in this place of introspection and soul searching and trying to trust your inner guidance, and it feels like you're in a hurry to do it, meaning like you're trying to get the most effective way, and that's probably why you're leaning towards fasting. But it feels like that there's a need for you to release your old self for this new one, okay? So when I get the fasting, I get... it feels like you're going to be successful at it, but it feels like that you need to... I don't know why. It feels like a solar plexus issue, and I don't even necessarily... Your solar plexus is responsible for digesting food. Okay, that makes sense. It feels like it's a solar plexus thing, so I don't know if it is... It feels like whatever the imbalance is that's happening in your solar plexus is causing your willpower. Thank you, spirit. Willpower, okay? It's doing what you should do versus what you want to do. So it feels like you just keep caving in, you keep giving in. But you're going to have to be strong, okay? Very large fiber rate. Okay, that makes sense. It feels like that... Yeah, I get again, shedding the old for the new. Yeah, it feels like an issue of willpower, okay? Meaning like you just need to stick to it. Yeah, folding on your beliefs, giving in. It feels like that maybe you need to do it a little bit slower, love. You need to get into a routine first, okay? And what I mean by that is don't just try to fast with nothing and just water, okay? You might need to go on a fruit fast and only do it for like 3 days, okay? Meaning like what I would be doing is like watermelon, because watermelon is really good for hydrating you. I would be doing like watermelon, anything in the melon family. So cucumbers, cantaloupe, honeydew melon, like things like that. And maybe what I would do, actually, this is what I would do. First, you need to start with intermittent fasting, okay? So you only eat between 12 and 8 p.m., okay? Every single day, you only eat between 12 and 8 p.m. I would do that for like 2 weeks. And then I would try to do a fruit fast for like 3 days, okay? Meaning that that's when I would do the melons, okay? Make sure you drink a lot of water, but then give yourself, you know, a little bit, because it feels like you need to titrate into this because it feels like you are addicted to food. You're addicted to the food, okay? Which is not a bad thing. It just means like some of us are addicted to the food because it's got fucking additives in it, okay? So I would start with intermittent fasting for 2 weeks, and then I would do like a 3-day fruit cleanse. Give yourself a break, then do a week fruit cleanse. And then I want you to maybe try fasting for a week with just spring water. But it feels like it's something you need to build up into, okay? And you need to get into some type of routine because it feels like you believe that you can't do it, so you just keep folding on it, okay? But you can. You're just in your own way. You need to get out of your head, okay? How do you release your old self? Like, you need to figure out who you actually are right now. Like, any of the stuff that wasn't serving you before and made you feel like shit before, get rid of that shit. You know, look at your past relationships. Figure out what you liked about the people, what you didn't like about the people. The shit that you didn't like, set healthy boundaries when it comes to that. If somebody is making you feel miserable or not bringing anything substantial to your life, get rid of them. You know, like, get rid of the dead weight, because it feels like you need to align your thoughts and your emotions. You need to make sure that you are the way when you experience somebody, you need to make sure that you actually feel good when experiencing that person. If you keep going over there and you come home and you feel spiritually drained, those are not your people. Get around some people that make you feel good about yourself. Okay? Okay. And Amiris, I couldn't find your question either. So you said, what do I need to know right now? Am I on track? I'm getting tired, y'all. So this might be my last question. I don't know why I'm hearing stuck. So I'm just going to say that, stuck. Not knowing which way to go. It feels like there was a loss or something. Did you recently lose somebody, Amiris? You're welcome, Additive. I don't know why I feel like it's a loss or something that happened that's causing you to feel stuck. Like maybe whoever this person is used to be able to give you give you guidance, or you dependent on that guidance, and now you don't have access to them anymore. I don't know if I think this might be my last one, love. I'm getting a little exhausted and I've been on here for about 2 hours. So I might come on later on this week and do some more. Just pay attention to when I go live, or make sure y'all subscribe to my live. Amiris, are you still on here, love? I need some confirmation. Maybe I'll just try to get it from the cards. Did you lose somebody who you used to depend on for guidance or something? Yeah, this live is going to be on YouTube. Oh, it's 2 a.m. I don't talk to anybody anymore. So did you lose everybody, or was there a specific person that you used to go to for guidance that's no longer here, Earthside? Or you lost somebody, or I don't know why I feel like there's some type of loss. Yeah, and then I get lack of independence. Like it feels like it's somebody that you used to depend on. Oh, my grandma. Okay. That's what it feels like this is coming from. It feels like you are still grieving, love. When did that happen? And I hear stuck. I don't know why I keep hearing that you stuck. What was the question again? I'm sorry. What do I need to know right now? Am I on track? It feels like you trying to protect yourself from pain or something. But you also protecting yourself from years ago, though. I mean, has it still been affecting you, though? Because it feels like whatever this is not knowing which way to go and feeling lost. And it feels like you've been doing a lot of soul searching. But there's a wound that you need to look at. There's a need for you to do some more introspection and heal whatever that wound is. Because it feels like whatever is happening right now is a cause and effect. So there's a need for you to make sure that you're making conscious decisions and that you fair in the decisions that you're making. Because it feels like relationships keep sticking out to me. And it feels like, I don't know if you were in relationships that weren't giving you mutual respect and fairness. Or if you're just, I don't know, it feels like protecting yourself from pain. I think you're talking about my ex. She was my best friend, but still alive. Okay. I potentially could be talking about your ex. Because when did y'all stop being friends? Was this recent? Because this feels like in the last couple of years. It don't feel like years ago. recent this year. Okay. It feels like that you were actually in an apprenticeship stage or something. I don't know if you're building something right now that has to do with like self-employment or like maybe working on a trade, but it feels like you're building something right now, and there's a need for you to be patient in whatever it is that you build in. There's a need for you to be confident, because it feels like whatever this is going to be sustainable, and it is going to lead to wish fulfillment. But there is it feels like whatever it is that you're building right now, and I don't know if you just started something, but it kind of feels like you're building something right now. It feels like that this thing is going to help you to contribute what you came here to contribute. And like I said, it feels like it's going to lead to wish fulfillment, but there's a need for you to kind of manage your mind a little bit. It feels like the things that you've kind of gone through in the past are affecting the way that you approach this situation. Yes, I'm working on self-employment. Okay. It feels like the things that you're going through in the past are kind of affecting the way that you show up when it comes to this, or the way that you're thinking about things. So there's a need for you to kind of move all that shit out your way, because, and also like, Virgo energy is here, meaning like you're very detail oriented. Like you are going to be the type of person who is a little bit more meticulous in the way that you move about things, but there's a need for you to pay attention to what you're thinking, because that Virgo energy is also like struggling with imperfection and needing things to be perfect before you launch it or before you take the next step on it. So there might be a need for you to kind of trust your intuition, and also understand that, again, life is going to have its ups and downs. It feels like that there's a need for you to focus on what's going on inside of your mind. But it feels like this actually is going to be a lucky venture for you. You just need to kind of stick to it a little bit. And it feels like it's justice. It feels like you get what you give type of energy. Okay. It feels like this is going to lead to everything that you want. Like this is wish fulfillment. And I see it's everywhere. Wish fulfillment. Then I got reunions and cause for celebration. Whatever it is something that where you're going to need to trust your intuition to rebuild the foundation. You're going to need to relook at what's going on emotionally with you. Because again, I think that's just kind of affecting the way that you approach in the situation. It feels like the way that you approach in the situation has a lot to do with what's going on inside of your body. So I don't know if that means that depending on your mood, it determines like how much you're willing to invest in this thing, or depending on what mood you're in, like it's maybe causing some issues. But it feels like that you need to kind of take on this energy of getting this imaginative energy, this creative energy. And you also might need to focus on the emotional issues that are going on. Because it feels like the stuff, not knowing which way to go, the loss, it feels like that is that's like, I don't know if this was a previous problem, but it doesn't feel like that this is standing in your way. When it comes to getting what you want, but it could if you don't learn how to regulate your emotions and manage your thoughts. Okay. So that's going to be for Amiris. Any confirmation for me, love? Everything. Yeah, I've been on top of the world one day and then feeling down. Yeah, it feels like there's a need for you to learn how to deal with life's hardships and understand that life has ups and downs. You know, some days you're going to feel good, some days you're not. Don't try to be positive about it though if you don't feel positive. And what I mean by that is if you're feeling down, accept yourself for where you are and make sure that you acknowledge where you are and that you are giving yourself what you need in that moment. Okay. Nurture your mind, nurture yourself, because it feels like success is coming for you. You just need to be patient. You need to keep building the thing. Don't let your mood affect how you're approaching the situation. Like, try to regulate your emotions as much as you possibly can. Okay. So boom, cat, that's it. You are very welcome. I might do like, let me look at my schedule, y'all. Let me see when I'm gonna be back on here. I know Deja wrote me about the mentorship. I'm going to look at that when I get off here. Tomorrow's probably not going to be a good day. Wednesday, probably not going to be a good day. Thursday, there's potential. Friday, probably not going to be a good day. My schedule is crazy this week. I don't know who the fuck I thought I was, but we're gonna get through it. We're gonna get through it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, it's not bad. 1 week I was at 15. You know, 9 is cool. If that don't include my mentees though, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay. Don't worry about it. This is it. This is all. This might be all for this week. I actually said that I might start getting on here a little bit later, but I know it's the time difference for me, because you know, right now it's 6 o'clock where I am. It's 9 o'clock where the people my people is at. You know, so I said I might start getting on here a little bit later, but you never know with me, because I say one thing and then the next thing you know, it doesn't happen, because I can only do as much as I can do. Okay, so I might be on here later on this week. I might not. You know, let's play it by ear. Okay, so I'm gonna check my DM for you, Deja, after this. And then I'll post this on YouTube before the night is over, so that y'all can have this. Y'all can go back, y'all can watch, and maybe I'll do a little bit more of these for you guys in the future. Okay, I just wanted to see how this will work out today, because I'm a really, really fast reader, and I like to read as fast as I possibly can so that I'm not stuck on a concept. You know what I'm saying? You are welcome, D. Hey, girly. All right, I love y'all, and I will see y'all next time. When that is, we don't know. Okay, bye. Have a good night.